How was it living in Clinton in the 50s and 60s?
It was bad. It was bad when we was living in the 50s and 60s here. We knew what we could do and where we could go, but it was really, you would run into a lot of problems. When we came here, we bought our house and where we're living now, and that's where we was told that we could buy. Our lawyer told us where we could buy when we came here to not be, that the white people would mind us living there. So that's where we bought it when we came here. It was different, and the schools was different. We had problems with the kids in school and with the teachers and whatever, but now it's different. It's a lot different then than it is now. But in working, Climax, it was a place here they called Climax, where my husband got a job at Climax, and when Curtis Company opened up, then they had a Curtis Company open up, and then they hired black people. But otherwise, job was hard to find, for a black man to find, and I just did day work. That's what the black women did, was just practically day work was all you could get, housekeeping. So that was mostly what you could get to do then. Otherwise, wasn't nothing to do. And I washed dishes at night. There was places you could wash dishes at night, and wasn't too bad. You run into some good people, cause in the late 50s, early 60s, I was the first black waitress here in Clinton. I got a job with a good man, and he hired me as a waitress, and there was some people didn't want me to serve them, but he was nice, and he said, if we have anybody that come in and don't want you to serve them, then you tell me and I will ask them to leave. So that wasn't too bad. It was only three people that didn't want me to serve them, so they was asked to leave. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty bad back then. It's a problem.
How bad did you feel when they didn't want you to serve them?
It was, well, I knew, it made you feel bad if you're working in, it used to be down on Fifth Avenue where they have the movie place now, where you go and get the movies down here.
Family Video?
A big place there, they call it the Manor House, and that's where I was working at. And so the man what was running the place, he was a nice guy. And then the people finally got used to me, so after a while it wasn't too bad, because they didn't mind that, so it wasn't bad. But anyway, it was hurt, it was hurt for somebody to be sitting in, and you would go to a table and people just sitting there, and then you would hear somebody say, well, we would like to have a waitress. I said, well, I am your waitress for the night. And they would say, well, no, then this one lady, I only heard it one time, this one lady got up and she says, well, I'm not eating if a nigger serves me. So then
Wow.
the boss man said, well, good night. So that was it. So it was embarrassing, it was a hurt.
Is there any black history in Clinton that we should know?
What was that?
Is there any black history in Clinton that we should know?
Well, not as I know of, because things are so much different now till it's different. So there's nothing now that would help the kids now. The only thing now that you kids should know, and that's go to school and get a good education. That's the main thing in the world now is education. So if you go to school and get a good education, you can get good jobs and you can do something. But if you don't know nothing, you can't do nothing. So you need an education to do something. So that's your main thing now, is a good education. And that was bad back there then because the black people, most of them didn't have no education. And see, I only went to school till 8th grade. Because down south you went to work, you couldn't go to school. And then when you went to school, you didn't have teachers qualified to teach you because they haven't had, they didn't have good education.
Right.
And you went to school, you had a little black place, a little black school to go to, and then the white kids had better schools, White kids was better schools, and black kids didn't have nobody to teach them down there because the teachers that taught you didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what was bad. That was the main thing. You didn't know nothing. So when you don't know nothing, you can't get good jobs. So that was, that's why I did housework when I came here and dishwashing and stuff like that because no education. And the people come up from the south didn't have education because they couldn't go to school. They had no schools to go to, proper schools to go to. Didn't have no sports, nothing. They just went to school. You didn't have basketball, nothing like that down there then. But they have it now, but then they didn't have any kind of activities like that.
Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.